All right, week 6, Foundations of Sports Science from a Nutrition Perspective. As I say in one of the videos I just posted, I'm not a nutritionist, but I know how important nutrition is to human performance. And so I go through a general presentation on nutrition. I give some background information on nutrition, but then I also provide two videos from experts in sport nutrition. All right, let me go through the assignment. Okay, so week 6, nutrition. I'll post this link once we're done here. And as I said, I did this presentation, just a short one, because I am not a nutrition expert. I don't want to pretend to be, but I know how, when I do my iron distance events, when I do my triathlons, I plan out my nutrition for race day. And I need to know how many carbohydrates I'm taking in. I need to know this aspect for competition. I also need to plan out my nutrition leading up to the race. So there's a lot going on with sport nutrition from a pragmatic perspective, but I'm not an expert. So then I do have an expert, Kenny Springer here at UNLV, sport dietitian. And she and I talked for a bit about what she does as part of a sport performance team here at UNLV. And I think it's incredibly insightful and inspiring if you are interested in pursuing nutrition. And then I have another one that I did with Nicole Kiley, who used to be here at UNLV, and interviewed her while she was at UNLV. Myself and Ted Gerard actually interviewed her. And we talked about sport nutrition, again, from an endurance perspective more so than a team perspective. But having her talk about sport nutrition and the importance of that is so critical, and just gives another flavor of perspective. And I did include this presentation. If you've taken this class with me, it's part 1 of the physiology of endurance performance when I get into the nutrition aspect. And it just goes over some nuts and bolts of nutrition that we just need to have in our back pocket. Even if you're not interested in nutrition, it's important to recognize, one, the importance, but then also the terminology that needs to be talked about when you are talking with a sport nutritionist. And so when you have these team meetings, and a sport nutritionist is part of that team meeting, and a sport whatever is also part of the meeting, they need to talk to each other. So we need to have some common understanding of terms. So that's what this presentation is about. And then this paper is a really good paper to talk about the interplay between dietary practices, body composition, and sport performance in athletes. So please read this. Again, this is your textbook for the semester. And I'll have some more information about that citation. For your semester project, this week we're going back to empirical evidence. Okay, so in semester project 5, I had you focus on anecdotal information, popular literature, things that people are saying without going through a peer-reviewed process. So what's my opinion on this? And that's, can sometimes be really helpful in understanding something. But what we need to do as the sports scientist is be able to separate out anecdotes versus empirical evidence. Anecdotes being stories. Here's what worked for me. Here's the drink I used for competing and I won. Here's the food I ate leading up to an event, and I scored more goals than anybody. That's anecdotes, okay? And that's important, but when we form answers to questions that for your semester project, you're going to hang your hat on empirical evidence, peer-reviewed primary source information. All right, so separate out those two. So last week was anecdotes or popular literature articles. That's great. This week it's empirical evidence, peer-reviewed primary source. Two really important things: peer-reviewed, and if you're finding it through one of your library search engines that I've gone over before, you're finding peer-reviewed papers. Primary source, that's a paper that describes an experiment conducted by the authors. If the title of the paper has literature review, systematic review, meta-analysis, Cochrane report, position stand, those are not primary sources. Okay, those are good to read to find the primary sources. I want you to go to the primary sources, read what the authors described and how they described their experiment, the results from the experiment, and what they took away from the experiment. Okay, that's so critical to this semester project. So now you're going to pick one of your papers that you probably use, okay, for your project. Maybe you don't, but probably. This does not have to be one of the citations you've already presented for an earlier semester project. It does not need to be. This could be a unique one. That's fine. You're going to put down the semester project question, and please use this form because then I can find the information quickly. I can find your citation linking to it real quickly. So please use this form and upload that. Use APA format for your citation. Again, that just makes it easy for me to go through and find the citation. And then you're going to write down 3 bullets that you think are really important from this paper related to your question. Now realize someone with a different question may have found the same reference, but their bullets may be different than your bullets. Perfectly fine, okay? There's not a correct answer to what are the bullets that you need to put down for these. But I want to have you start reading the paper and start looking for the important pieces that you're going to pull out and then emphasize in your semester project. Okay? So upload that. We're good to go. This is week 6. We do have an exam in week 7, so I'll present more information about that later. Okay, thanks everybody.